Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Welcome back to another episode of Cocktails with Dimples
Dimples.
and the artist formerly known as the Beard, but it's coming back.
Coming back.
Slow but sure. It'll be fun to watch this grow back, like each episode.
The journey.
You know what's going to suck? They're going to know if we do them out of order.
Hey, his beard is longer left.
What do we got these out for?
Fucking perverts.
Perverts. What do we got a peep on our drink for?
Perverts. Look at that. Let's get a little closer. I'm going to go a little closer.
Yeah, I don't.
Freaking peep is.
Yeah. Can I try it? Is that okay?
Sure.
What do we got here? It's called the Dirty Bunny.
Dirty Bunny.
Dirty Bunny. Because we're interviewing some clean bunnies.
We are. Some fantastic.
I wonder if anybody who listened remembers when we were talking about the letters PMOY and what they might mean, because they're right there.
Right there on their chest.
What are we interviewing? Who are we interviewing? What are we interviewing? We're interviewing clean bunnies. One of them just happened to be a Playmate of the Year.
Have you understood plural? He's bunnies. He said twice now. Bunnies. Not another bunny. We've already interviewed a bunny, which is fantastic, and I appreciate Ever Driggs for doing that. Great time. Great exposure. We are doing it again.
I like to think of myself as a bunny whisperer.
You don't want to know why.
Bunny whisperer. Well, because we get interview bunnies.
I
mean,
so we're interviewing two bunnies, and we're going to talk about, as you'll see, what when we get to the interview. But regardless, right now we are drinking Dirty Bunnies.
Dirty Bunnies.
Dirty Bunnies is consistent of Malibu and strawberry and or raspberry lemonade. Boom. Gotta have a peep though.
It does have to be decorated with a peep. And believe me, it's not easy to get peeps when it's not Easter.
Yes. That was
we went to great lengths and
we wanted pink ones. Couldn't even find pink ones. We couldn't even get pink ones.
We overspent the $500 to $600 budget on peeps.
Again.
For 12 peeps, $600. $600.
Worth every penny.
Well, I don't even like peeps.
I'll eat the shit out of them.
They're all yours.
In a month from now.
Yeah, when this is over, they are all yours. I will probably.
Oh, you have to eat it tonight.
Yeah, that one I'm going to have to.
And the next drink.
Yeah.
So regardless, the rest of them, I've already opened them all up.
And you're letting them stay.
They're all sitting on the counter. We're going to eat 4 of them tonight. I have two more packs of 4s.
Okay.
I'm going to let them sit for a month.
12 of them, $600.
And I'm going to eat the rest after they're stale.
To be fair, that included shipping. So
that's true.
Not bad then. I mean, if you throw the shipping cost in.
Oh, then it makes it worth it.
Right. Not terrible. I mean, they had to come from Peep Zealand or Peep Australia.
That's where they raise these bunnies.
Where they raise them. They're raised specifically to be.
That's all they're raised for.
Peeps.
And they like it. They're happy. They're happy to be eaten. Thank you. Thank you for eating me.
So let's rate this bad boy before we start interviews. What time is it? I'm just gonna. We got
Dirty Bunny.
The Dirty Bunny.
Dirty Bunny. Refreshing. Lemonade. Anything with lemonade is refreshing.
It's refreshing, and I'm gonna give you a real solid reason why I'm giving this such an incredibly high rating. The highest rating you can come up with in our fantastic rating scale, a 5. Because if I'm drinking this because I'm interviewing 2 bunnies, this could be piss in a cup and I'd still give it a 5. 5.
Wow. 5 for the Dirty Bunny.
For the lovely ladies.
Juice.
Listen to that.
Oh, it's delicious. Oh, part of the peep broke off into my drink.
Your peep pooped in your drink?
He did. I think my peep pooped in there.
Peep poop.
I'm going to drink the shit out of it. It's refreshing. Malibu. You know, I went through a big phase years ago. Malibu.
Me too, until that guy pooped while I was sitting next to him.
Past podcast. That's true.
Yeah.
Great story.
Yeah.
I'm not as high.
I'm not high at all, thanks to some recent events.
4.2. I'll give it a 4.2. I enjoy it. I would definitely have it again.
A 4?
I've never had Malibu with lemonade before.
I never have either.
Pineapple juice, Coke, Pepsi. Yep, but never
just straight out of the bottle.
Straight out of the bottle.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
All right then. I like it. 5.
We like Dirty Money. We've got big bottle of Malibu and the rest of the lemonade.
So
and
now
maybe for the weekend.
Now anybody that listened to our fantastic, as you called it today, an instant classic, Hypnotic Breeze knows why we were using up the Malibu, because our plans changed. We rescheduled this interview.
We weren't using it up. We opened it.
We were using up the Hypnotic.
So maybe this weekend we can drink the rest of it.
Yeah, let's just keep Malibuing it up,
because
we need to
feel we're in Malibu.
Yeah, we need a drink for Friday night.
Summertime. We'll find a special occasion coming up. We got some big stuff coming up.
We do have some fun stuff coming up.
You want to jump on board now?
Get in, stay in, start listening. Start at the beginning.
Think we're discouraged? Think we're holding back? Those numbers don't discourage us.
What numbers?
Hundreds of listeners? That's just drive us to do better and do more.
What numbers? We have high numbers on every episode.
Hundreds of listeners.
It's amazing.
We're continuing on.
We're close to 600.
We're not backing off now.
Close to 600 listens. That's not bad.
That's just, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about tonight.
We're doing our thing.
Having pause. We're going to break off. We got our drinks in. And maybe when you see us again,
you'll see us with
those
two. I like how look at bunny ears. Oh yeah.
If we were closer, we could do it each other, but that'll be later under the table. Yeah. Well. Hello.
Hi.
There's everybody.
How are you?
Wonderful.
We are great.
I missed you. Are you over your PTSD yet from me?
No, I'm still suffering. I'm drinking heavily and I may need an intervention.
I'm so fucking tired too, bro.
Oh my gosh.
I just not used to working like that.
I know. Hey, cheers, guys.
Cheers to you both.
Yeah, thank you.
What is that drink?
I'm so happy we're here.
This is here's what's funny. Echo got me started on kombucha and vodka, but this is kombucha and whiskey, and I like it better.
Oh.
I know it would have been Jameson, but I'm out of my Jameson, so it's Buffalo Trace.
That's what I'm drinking, Mom.
And kombucha.
There you go. Got the Irish whiskey.
Perfect.
Got two whiskey gals here. I love it.
Yay.
And here we are drinking Malibu and lemonade.
Malibu. Oh, that's
we're drinking it.
They have the girl drinks.
Right.
The girl drink. That's hilarious.
Well, we did it in honor of you.
Hello?
It's the name of the drink is the Dirty Bunnies. So we thought for you two bunnies, we would drink the Dirty Bunny.
I love it.
So we got the foo drinks.
Oh, that's cute.
With our bunny.
Oh, you even have the bunny. I love it.
Like I have to put on my glasses so I can see.
So we put bunny peeps on the side of the glasses.
And let me tell you, peeps are not easy to find when it's not Easter.
That's what I was gonna say. How the hell did you find them and it's not Easter?
Aww.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
We had to order them in, but it was worth it.
Yeah, so we tracked them down in honor. So thank you to both so much for doing this with us.
So my audio sounds a little bit off. As long as you guys can hear me, it's good, right?
Yep, we can hear you for sure.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you as well.
I feel like I'm a disaster. I didn't get ready like I should have. Let's see. Hold on.
It's all good.
Hold on. I'm lifting things up. I've got to make things work.
Improvise.
Yeah.
We're good.
There.
The spontaneity.
Does that
Perfect.
Perfect.
Working?
Perfection.
Should I do this?
And for us, it bounces back and forth from you too, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
So where are you guys?
We're in Wisconsin.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I think when we talked on the phone that night, there's some ties to Wisconsin, correct? One of you has ties to Wisconsin, or both of
Well,
you.
I just love it there.
Okay. Yeah.
I've done some really fun promotions near Union Grove, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Well, I did a monster truck show. Was my very first promotion with Playboy. I was a baby. Union Grove, Wisconsin, and there was a at the A&W root beer, because in my Playmate data sheet I had put that my favorite health food was chocolate chip pancakes and root beer. And so they said, Miss August, come in and see us, come in, and because it was aimed at,
A&W. Okay.
Nice.
Fun.
That's awesome.
Big time. That's when you know you make the
That's when you made it.
monster truck show.
You have arrived.
You have arrived.
You
Yeah.
have arrived, baby, at stardom.
I think there's a lot of monster truck rallies here in Wisconsin.
We do have more than most people, I think.
Yeah, I remember like snake bite, and it was so awesome.
Oh, nice. So where do we start? Should we start with both of your introductions to Playboy? How you became Playmates? The story.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I Echo. What do you want to start?
No, you have to start because you're
Okay. For me, I had a boyfriend who it's kind of funny that brought me an ad that said Playmates wanted. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Golfing with the elderly, playing checkers with children that need big sisters. What is it? And he's like, no, Playboy. And I got very offended. And I called my mom, little Miss 18-year-old self-righteousness. But well, for one thing, I always used to hide my body. I would always wear a t-shirt over my swimsuit. I never wanted attention like that. No way. And so when he said that, and I knew it was Playboy, I was upset. Called my mom, and she goes, Corinna, this could be a huge opportunity for you. This is
Yay,
great.
Mom.
I mean, we both know you're not going to college. Thanks, Mom.
Wow.
So I ended up, going and testing, and I was terrified.
Sure.
It was a talent scout here in Vegas. Her name is Marie Erickson. And when I got to her house, my cousin was swimming in the backyard. And I'm like, that's my cousin. She goes, that's my daughter's best friend. And I immediately felt comfortable.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't even take nude photos. They were in lingerie. Okay. And they sent the photos that she took to the photo editor in Chicago. And they flew me out like right after they saw them.
Oh, wow.
Because there was a set that wasn't working with this girl. And it's funny. I mean, Echo, we've talked about this, how they would build really elaborate sets. And the weird thing is that you don't realize is if a body and a face doesn't go with that set, they don't know until they're taking the photos. They have an idea of what they want, but it was not working with this girl. So they used that set, and it was a bicycle, and it looked like a French, cafe and the bicycle. And they did my test shoot on that bicycle. Okay. And I mean, I had friendship bracelets on. I was a kid, they had to cut them off for the real shoot. It's just, it was a test shoot. And then it's kind of funny. I tell the story because it's true. Hef, he looks through all of these images. He's like, okay, it's a lot of no's. No. And then he came to my picture and he started laughing. And Gary Cole said he had never seen Hef laugh, he's like, what's happening? Why is he laughing?
Why are you laughing? Right.
Because she looks like a startled fawn. Like my eyes are this big because I'm like naked.
Yeah.
What? I was not used to this. And so he started laughing. He said, if you get that timidness of her being nude, get her used to being nude in front of the camera and we'll have a Playmate.
Nice.
And I mean, then I get Playmate of the Year out of it. So
right.
Apparently he was right. I mean, he always was.
He always was.
He knew. He had an eye. Yeah, he definitely knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I love that.
My
You didn't
story.
tell me-
And you got to be comfortable pretty quickly, huh?
Well, I did a photo shoot with a live tiger in
Oh.
Vegas, and the thing went wild in the studio. First of
Jeez.
all, it was not declawed. A giant, like 1,200-pound tiger, live tiger. I'm like, if that's not phototherapy, I don't know what is.
Right.
So then we go to her house, and she's Vegas is a trip anyway, but I guess
Right.
per capita, the most people that have lions and
Yeah, I've heard
tigers,
that. Yeah, the
Oh,
exotic
sure.
animal. Yeah.
which I hate. I don't like it, but I mean, that's funny that they would put me with a live tiger, and this thing, they would feed it so that it would be kind of lethargic.
Sure.
Feel, because they're wild, and I was allergic, so I'm allergic to cats, and they are large cats. So
Yes.
I'm like welting up. I'm laying on this tiger, laying down, and I'm tiny on this tiger. And I wish I had those photos, and sadly, I do not even know where any of those
Oh,
are.
okay.
Wow.
Again, echo things that I look back and I'm like, she's so smart with all of that and her images, and I just was like, I wasn't into the modeling. I just kind of did it for Playboy and didn't think, oh, these are images I'd like to keep.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Talk about being thrown to the animals right away, huh?
Yeah, I was thrown to the lions and the tigers.
Wow.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Wow. Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that,
A good story. Fun.
You never said that you had a live tiger in your photo shoot.
Yes, I need to find my mom.
That would have been
Their house flooded, and I had all of the negatives. It was back when you had negatives.
Oh, sure.
And they were destroyed in the flood.
Oh no.
At my mom's house. I know it makes me sick because they were really cool.
Yeah.
And then talk about not thinking about in its psychology, I could just feel this tiger, they're wild. They could kill you in one swipe. And I'm thinking, and it would start to get kind of playful a little bit. And so I would just slowly move away, because you can't make sudden movements.
Sure.
So I'm like, of course I'm not thinking about being completely nude. And it was my first completely nude photo shoot was with that live tiger.
Okay.
And it is funny thinking about, I'm like, yeah, that was smart, because the last thing I was thinking about was, oh my gosh, I'm naked. No, oh my gosh, I might be eaten alive.
Yeah, you're just in fear for your life at that point.
Nudity was nothing.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, fun. Wow, good. Yeah, nice story for
That's
it.
fantastic. Wow. Echo, how about you?
So actually, was it last week or 2 weeks ago when Corinna and I were recording? We shared the first time because one of the editors we were talking to asked us about how our experience was, and it was interesting because Corinna and I shared, and both of our mothers came into play, and I was like, I had no idea that's how it occurred for you. So I was like, I didn't even know what Playboy was. I had modeled, and I was 18 years old, and I was moving to Austin from Santa Fe, New Mexico, where I grew up.
Okay.
And there was a photographer at a restaurant one evening that I was having dinner at with, like, my high school sweetheart. I think it was his birthday or something, actually. And my mom and, family and whatever. And Greg Gorman was there. And Greg Gorman is a world-renowned photographer. And he, I was introduced to him through a friend that was sitting at his table because he was in Santa Fe doing a photography workshop that he did every summer. So he invited my mom over to the table, and he said who he was, and he told my mom, I am shooting a German Playboy, and I'd like to test your daughter.
Okay, yeah.
And my mom was like, absolutely. And I was like, oh, hell no.
So both moms were on board before both of you were on board.
Kind of crazy that both moms were all about it before you two.
Echo and I were shocked when when she was telling the story, and we both were sharing our story, like we both just looked at each other like, I haven't heard that before, and here it's fun to have that in common after all of these years not knowing that.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. The story's being
too. We were both 18 going on 19 when we shot, and I was told over and over that I was like one of the youngest playmates. Anyway, so my mom said, yep, you're gonna do it. tomorrow we'll be there. We're going to do test shots, and went to a studio, and I was mortified, just like Corinna was. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But he took some Polaroids and he sent them to German Playboy. And within, I don't know, 12 hours, he said she's been accepted, and she's gonna be October 92 in German Playboy, and get her ready because we're gonna go do the photo shoot next week. And
you were on the cover of that issue, correct?
No, I was not on the cover of that issue. So I have a couple covers, but it wasn't that one. So did that.
Couple, you were on 8.
9, 10.
No.
You know, lost track. No, I'm kidding.
So it's more than a couple is my point. That's a lot.
I lost track of
We tried to do our research.
I was being coy, like I'm on some covers.
Right. I'm like, no.
Neither here nor there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we went and did the photo shoot, and it was extraordinary because Greg Gorman was shooting it, and he's like, I don't know if you guys know who Herb Ritz is, but he was a super famous like supermodel photographer back in the 90s. And so Greg Gorman was that style. So he was very artistic in what we shot. And Hef saw the issue and contacted Greg and said, who is that? I wanted to be this January 1993. So 2 months after I shot it, I guess, I get a phone call from my mom and Greg saying, all right, you're going to the Playboy Mansion, and you're made January 93. And then the rest is history.
Awesome.
Things moved pretty quickly for both of you, it seemed like.
Yeah. And then it was so fun. I was just thinking about how fun it was to meet Echo. I think it was Anna Nicole Smith's Playmate of the Year party that we met, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, because that was the first Playmate of the Year party we went to. Yeah.
Yes. We laughed. We just laugh at the whole, because it's all so surreal. But I think that's why Echo and I bonded. We even back then, like we just got the whole madness of it. But it was so fun.
Don't take it too seriously.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my gosh.
Like, wow. Look at us. But,
So you two have been friends that long, since 93-ish?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's all, yeah.
Funny, I got married, raised my daughter, and we lost touch. It is what it is. You move in, and she has her daughter. You just, but every time we see each other, it's like no time has passed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best friendships are that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't get butthurt if we don't, we're not like, oh, I haven't talked to you. And years had gone by at one point. So it's like, yeah, it's just a sisterhood always. And then I'm getting to know Echo even more and just enjoying every bit of it with, doing what you guys are doing.
Right. Yeah.
Our Echo, our Bunny Chronicles.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's been such a gift. And I I keep telling Echo, I'm like, she took me kicking and screaming. So I'm like, I wasn't, and now I get it. I'm like, yeah, you are brilliant. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know, isn't it fun to?
It is very fun. Yeah, it can be. Yes.
Yeah, we have such a blast doing it, and yeah, so we definitely get it.
And we have a blast with and without guests. We have a blast both ways. We love it with guests even more. But yeah, we just, if we can't, we just have fun doing it.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
Friends of friends. He works with some guys that I went to high school with. And that's so we met that way. And I don't know, 25 years ago, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, we've been friends since the mid 90s as well.
Nice.
So and it really kind of blossomed in the past decade or so. But
for sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with Corinna and I. We were actually talking about this when we were driving home from LA after 3 days of recording our last 3 shows for the season. And talking about it, occurred to me that my fiance moved from Santa Fe to Las Vegas, and when he was there for about 6 months, I was going there a lot. And when that occurred, I was able to see Corinna a lot. So we spent a lot of time together like consistently for the first time in a long time. And, you know, we had already talked about, you know, doing something to, you know, honor half, whether it was
Bourbon by the fire. That was our bourbon by the fire night.
4 bottles of bourbon.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you know, thank God for that. And then I told Corinna, I was like, oh my God, it's so true. So thank God for my fiance that, you know, we got that time together, because I don't know that would occur to me, like, to reach out to you and say, let's do this together. But it all occurred organically from that night.
It really did. There are no accidents. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you guys you've already wrapped up season 1 of the recording then of this of the podcast?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There's one we have to re-record.
Okay.
But other than that, we're pretty much, I mean, Echo wanted all of those just in the can, and then we were going to launch, but we already know it's going to keep going and keep going.
Oh, I would imagine. Yeah, it's a great topic. Why don't we get into it a little bit? You guys tell us.
I was going to say,
give us the background of it, and
when does it start? When are you going to start airing them?
So it will be launched in August. We just have to go through the interviews and pick out how we're going to line them up in terms of, you know, capturing the audience and whatnot. And then we're just working on our logo and finishing up our intro song and video and whatnot. But other than that, we're ready to go. And like Corinna said, you know, my idea was just like, oh, we'll just have one season to start it off. But every time we talk to somebody, we're just pulling out golden nuggets of history that we're like, holy shit, there's so much to delve into. And it's
and things we didn't even realize.
Yeah, it's an endless story once you get into it. I mean, there's just so much to tell.
Well, there's so many tentacles, you know.
Yeah.
There's so many different connections and people. I mean, it launched careers that people don't realize. I mean, it's infinite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comedians to actors to, I mean, A-listers and the best of the best in the business. So it's pretty incredible.
So every episode, do you have a guest, or is it not every episode?
We haven't just done, she and I, we haven't really done that yet.
Well, except we did on the last show because our guest was late. So I was like,
and it ended up being hilarious.
It's so funny.
What's funny?
We were exhausted, and we had really had fun the night before in our lobby.
That seems to be a pattern.
Yeah. And so we woke up when we knew we had one show. I was like, okay, it'll be easy. And he was, I don't know, 30 minutes late or something. So I was like, fuck it, just roll the film. And I had glasses on and like gold.
I had my beef stick in my pocket.
Her gym slim. And we were just, I was like, let's just talk, free flow. And it was awesome. It was really funny. And
you get some of the best stuff that way.
No, absolutely. And then I was like, we need to do that like a lot, Corinna.
Do it more often.
Yeah. Things come out that you don't expect. You guys know.
Yeah, we do.
We're learning. Yeah.
And
what made you decide to want to do a podcast?
We did a lot of traveling together, and when we traveled, we cracked each other up, and we just, you know, we would go out and we would have drinks, and by the end of the night, we were, you know,
alcohol caused all of this.
Well, a lot of hence the name cocktails. So
a lot of it.
There were so many mornings we woke up saying, wow, too bad we didn't record that last night. That was so good. And then one day we just said, let's just start doing it and talk about stories. And then it progressed into, you know, getting guests on, and we brought the theme in. Like I said, alcohol brought out a lot of it. So we just started picking a cocktail for each evening.
Yeah, it just started. It was just going to be conversations. Then we added the cocktail element and tried to theme the cocktails around the conversation. And so that was kind of the.
I love the name of your show. It's brilliant. It's so good.
Well, we have to shout out to us. I don't even know, it was a flight attendant. We were traveling, and we got aboard the flight, and the flight attendant just said,
hey, look,
hey, she's like, what's the beard and dimples up to today? And we were just thrown off, and we're like, oh, that must be us, you know. And then when we left, she's like, you know, have a great trip, beards and dimples. And we just, when we thought about a name, I'm like, you know, that flight attendant had something there.
How cute.
Because at the time his beard was a lot longer.
Yes.
When it was significant. So yeah, we went with it. We said, let's go with it.
Yeah. You definitely know, like when you have something that's like bomb, you know, it's like it just like,
Yeah.
you hear it and you think about it and you're like, that is fucking dope.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You know, it just I just, you know, randomly, I don't know, it's probably been a 3-year like labor of love in my brain that I've been trying to put together, and how it was going to be documented, and you know which way it was going to go, et cetera, et cetera. And
I had pitched you, not pitched, but when we
Yeah,
were by the fire, that was what my intention was a documentary.
Oh, okay.
It just reminded me of that with the Bunny Chronicles, and she had already had that brainchild and had Bunny Chronicles,
and the
but it
domain
had
was available, which blew my mind. I was like, the Bunny Chronicles is available? Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Take it.
Yeah, when you find something that good, you jump on it.
Perfect name, yeah.
Yeah. So going back to you know, Corinna and I sitting around the fire one evening in Vegas a couple of years ago, that's really how this all came about. And it was like I had already had the Bunny Chronicles domain name, and I was in the process of rebuilding my website of echojohnson.com, because I have like 36,000 images that I own and whatever. So I was trying to figure out a way of like, okay, I'm writing now and I'm into photography, so let me just rebuild a website for echojohnson.com, and I'll do some writing under there, and that'll be called the Bunny Chronicles. And then Corinna and I sitting around the fire, and we were just talking about, you know, Hef and like Playboy, and like we can't believe he's gone, and we were sad, and especially because there was nothing done in his honor. I mean, there was no memorial.
We
There was
feel like
no
he was just
celebration.
thrown away.
Really?
Yeah, like thrown. I don't think anyone paid him the proper respects that he deserved. I think I feel like it was just like you know, and Echo and I both felt the same way. And it became a kind of a, not righting a wrong, but in a way, there were
good
people
for you.
that took advantage of him, that we felt like took advantage of him, prospered from him, and then slandered him. And we didn't see any of that. I don't know anyone who did. There are so many spectacular things about that man and the legacy that he left.
Absolutely.
And the lives that he changed for the better.
Yeah.
So I thought, this is ridiculous. We've got to investigate and hear it from the horse's mouth. And so every guest we've had, every one of them says the same thing. He was loyal. Mm-hmm. He was a perfectionist. He was a gentleman and a scholar. You know, it's true. He was. And we keep saying, we know he worked with this. He was a genius.
Yeah.
And he didn't build an empire by accident.
Right.
And there was more to him than those centerfolds, but he loved his centerfolds. And he knew, I mean, I'm just saying, like, as human beings, he respected women. It's not, you know, #MeToo. Echo and I have both said this, that I felt more protected working for Playboy. In fact, when I went out into the real world, because I was so young, and you know, Echo can attest to this too, you know, we were babies, and you all of a sudden, you know, you're taking these beautiful images, and then you have all of these, but I was protected. I was treated better than I've ever been treated in my life. Went to some of the most phenomenal places, never felt threatened, never felt exploited. It was the opposite of that. I watched you empower women.
Yep, empowerment. That's what I was just going to say. Absolutely.
That's great to hear. I mean, that really is what you're saying.
Well, not that it makes up for it, but cheers to Hef. I mean,
cheers to Hef.
I'll say that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and to our First Amendment rights. He was huge on First Amendment rights.
Absolutely. Yes.
Objectivity.
Yeah. So it's just been, I don't know, it's just one of those things, like, when the timing is right and everything just kind of falls into place, that's really how it's like occurred for us to go into the studio and record 11 shows and get those under our belt, and then just realizing, oh my gosh, we're really onto something that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, we're interviewing, editors, staff writers, photographers, playmates, bunnies, and everybody that we're interviewing, like the minimum amount of time they were there was like 25 years, and the maximum was 55 years.
Oh, wow.
So that just goes to show you, that not only the caliber,
it was a family. It was it still is a family.
But how much they loved the job, and so it's just kind of been this, I don't even know how it came to be, Corinna, about us, contacting, Playboy and employees and staff, but that's where it happened.
And the funny thing is, it's just escalating, and it's like a domino effect. And they want to come on. And these are people that aren't public people, which makes it even more fascinating.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are these retired people?
They're really not there to promote themselves. A few people, of course, were like, please use this platform to tell us about what you're doing. Tell us about what. Many of these people are not only retired, they're part of the living and breathing brand that was Playboy. And it's what kept it going. And it's almost like we can hear Hef in the room.
Yeah.
We can hear him saying, yes, this is what it's about. This is what, because he was a man that would do things for people and never tell you that he did it for them. He would never brag. He was a philanthropist. He contributed to things that people don't even realize, but would never tell you, oh, I'm giving, I'm giving to this, I'm giving to that. But I also think it's a beautiful thing. And he was kind of dichotomous this way, where I don't know hold on, what is happening? Okay.
Yes, I just said okay to it. Did you?
I just said okay.
We'll take a yep, sure.
He was a very special, generous, interesting, one of the most interesting men, I believe. I know it sounds, I don't worship Hef. I loved Hef. I'm like, I worship Jesus Christ, but seriously, Hef, he's one of those people that he's a legend. He's
he's definitely a legend. He's an icon, for sure.
Icon. And I don't think people have even scratched the surface, understand what that means, and the branches that come off of that.
So the Playboy brand is supportive of everything you're doing?
So what do you mean? The new woke Playboy?
Not the woke Playboy, but
so in our opinion, Playboy no longer exists.
Okay.
Playboy died when Hef died, because the people who took it over, they completely just decimated what Playboy was in terms of the quality of the magazine and whatever.
Well, I'll be honest, I haven't bought an issue in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, right. I haven't seen anything.
Them. I think
it's not possible for the magazine to exist without Hef. It's one of those things where he was the mastermind, and nobody could recreate what Hef did. Let's just face it.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
So his children didn't carry on or anything? I don't know how that went.
Well, so his daughter Christy was the president of Playboy from like the early. She came in the early 80s, and then maybe maybe a decade into that, she took it over as the president of Playboy into the 2000s, and then she stepped down. And Christy was incredible, and she did a really good job in some ways. And then there definitely was other ways that Hef wouldn't agreed with, but whatever. At the end of the day, she did step into that role, and she was phenomenal. Cooper, his youngest son, was definitely on board and really wanted to be a part of Playboy. And they gave him the title of, I think it was Chief Creative Content Director, something like that. And within a matter of months after Hef died, he just realized, like, this is bullshit. Like, this is not the magazine that my father built. And I'm just gonna go ahead.
I'm out. Yeah.
So, and honestly, at the end of the
Everybody,
day,
that's a
you
lot
know,
of pressure. That was pressure, I believe, on Cooper.
Oh.
I'd love to hear that from his mouth because, I mean, he looked like his dad. It's kind of interesting, and I would love to ask him because obviously I can't speak for him, but I believe he just knew that his dad's legacy and to carry it on, he wanted to do things right, but his dad was it. And I would love to hear what he has to say about that because I imagine that he also was a side of his dad because he's very much from what I've seen, because I don't know him, but just seeing, you know, I watched him when he slept in his little bed when he was a baby hit the mansion, creeper, but it would help me sleep. I would watch because they had cameras on him and anyway. But I think that like I look at Cooper and he's I think a side of his dad that his dad would have done had he not done the magazine. Does that make sense? Like he has the love of his life and I believe Hef would have been monogamous. I really do. I think he was one of those romantics, believe it or not. And I think that he had a few very strong, important loves in his life. And, you know, he had his heart broken.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, even reinventing himself after that with all the girlfriends, I think, you know, he was blessed to have love in, you know, the way he did. But I think Cooper may have gathered things, don't you, Echo, that he just probably also said, this isn't for me. It just seems that way anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I would love to hear what he has to say, his perspective.
Oh, me too. Yeah, that would be interesting.
We'll have Cooper on. I think Cooper will come on.
Oh, that would be awesome.
For sure, he will, and then hopefully Christy. But you know, at the end of the day, I honestly, like, there was a big part of me that was like, oh my gosh, there's not a Hefner name attached anymore. But then when I saw like what the magazine was doing and where it was going, I was like, there should not be a Hefner name attached to this because it is not Playboy. It's just not in any context. So my understanding now is like they're just solely focused on like the brand and the bunny and merchandise. And other than that,
okay.
You see everywhere, and that's another reason Echo and I thought, you know, for these kids that even my nieces and my nephew, it was so weird. I remember I thought, which is strange because the brand is so well known and the more I get to know about it, but there was a time where I would never I remember they had the Playboy bunny air fresheners in their car. And I remember just thinking that was tacky. And now it's a trend. I mean, everyone loves that Playboy bunny head.
Oh, absolutely.
And my nieces and nephews, and sometimes I'll just see kids wearing it, and I just want to, you know, I want to be like, do you realize you know what you're wearing? And it's legendary, like from Sammy Davis Jr. on, legends, all part of that brand. So absolutely,
I can imagine an evening at the mansion. I just can't imagine all the people that you would have met.
Well, that's another thing. I wish so badly I had taken, you know, I ended up being taken off the list because so many people want to be there. And they called me. I remember, I think it was Mary. Someone called me and just said, Corinna, you know, you haven't been coming to the parties. You know, we're going to go ahead and remove you from the list. And, you know, I could call and get back on anytime, but that's how gracious and thoughtful Hef was too. And he knew everybody that came to the mansion.
He would literally approve. Like I took a couple of my girlfriends there over the years to different parties from Austin, and I would have to send in photos of them that Hef would look at and say yes or no. And one of them got write a letter, go, no, Hef, I promise she's really pretty. And then the second go around, he said, okay. But yeah, he knew everybody that was, you know, that was again attention to detail.
We're like, how is the greatest ever? No ugly people in my house. No ugly people.
Like,
well, I'm out. I can't make it in then. Dang it.
There goes my invite.
But that doesn't go on today, correct? None of those.
No, none of the parties. Well, somebody else bought the mansion. So
Is that what it is?
Oh, that's
okay.
crazy. Yeah.
So you're having on your podcast a bunch of retired people.
Yeah, a lot
yeah.
of people.
Are they all retired from the?
Yeah, so they're all retired, but
okay, I didn't know if there's any current.
Like, I can't
well,
work, so
we'll see where it goes. I think that we may have current. You know, I would like to take that perspective and have more current people. I would love to have Crystal Hefner on. I would love to talk to everyone and get their perspective on Hef and Playboy and what it meant to them, because it's a topic that goes on and on. It's kind of an interesting topic for sure.
Absolutely.
It is, and now you got to keep it alive.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Echo and I are doing it. We've been told that. Right, Echo? We've had people when they're leaving, they're like, oh my gosh, you guys, keep going, keep doing this. This is so important. Hef would be so happy. And I mean, it gives me goosebumps. I'm like, wow, it's bigger than we are for sure.
Sure. I'm excited for when it comes out. I really am.
Absolutely. Yeah. Can't wait to listen. Is it video as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's why we, are taking our time, and it's really like a full production. I mean, we have Playboy makeup artists coming on board. And
I wish I had them today. They needed to fix my hair.
You both are beautiful to this day. Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be live. We're launching it on OnlyFans, which is really going to be a very cool platform to launch it on in terms of reaching like just a very broad audience.
Yeah.
We'll obviously have our YouTube channel, and then it'll be on every audio platform. But yeah, we're definitely going to do the video, and then I'm working also on a Patreon page, which I'm not real sure how that works, but I think you can put like your videos on there, clips or whatever. And raise money. So there's a lot of stuff. We have like we gotta
there'll be multiple
house. It's a lot. It's just every time we finish an interview or I get an email or Corinna and I talk, we're like, oh my God, what about this? And what about that?
Yeah.
Never ending.
It's never ending. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The ideas just stem into new ideas, and
they really do.
For 1 second, and Corinna, I'll be right back.
Okay. Echo's exiting the building.
Since stage left.
Perfect.
Well,
I see my magazine on your
yes.
Wait, of course. Of course.
We got those. Each one has both of you in them.
We did some
All
shopping
three.
on eBay.
Awesome. You're like, I got your issue. Pages are yellowed. It was $2. Awesome.
Oh no, not $2. Believe me. No, the good issues still go for a little bit. So yeah.
Well, since I have you, I would love to ask you a quick question.
Okay.
About your movie career.
Oh, I love acting. I'm kind of a late bloomer. I have a friend that went to Long Beach Film School, and he used to tell me when we were kids, you need to be an actress. And I was always in theater. I loved it. I was told when I was probably 18 after I posed for Playboy, you'll never act now. This has just destroyed your acting career. And I'm like, well, that's not how things work.
Wait a minute. I believe
it finds you. So he won awards, the director that I worked with, he lived up the street from me when we were kids.
Oh, okay.
Went to Long Beach, if that's what you're asking.
Well, there are two things I want to ask you about. It seems like your movie Hit on Me.
Yes. Yeah.
That's won awards.
Yes. I won my first best actress recent, and that's recent. And I feel very proud of that team.
You should be. Heck, screw those guys that said acting won't come your way. Best actress. That's amazing.
Yeah. And what's fun is I'll be working with that same team in my first lead in a psychological thriller. And it's called The Ivory Curse. So
okay.
We're seeking. We're knocking on doors to get the funding for that. I was just in another psychological thriller that we just got distribution for. So I'm very proud of this film as well. I don't have I have a decent role in it.
Yeah.
And but I'm excited but I feel like, I'm going to grow old into this because I love it.
Yeah.
I do. I love it. I love storytelling and just humanity and the human condition. And it's been a real gift. I love it.
And I just have to interject and tell you guys that Corinna is an amazing artist. She is an amazing actress, producer.
Look who's
creator.
talking. Her art.
I mean, it's just I pinch myself all the time, and I'm just so grateful for you, Corinna. I'm so glad we're doing this together.
I love you.
I couldn't do it without you, and it's just so great to have somebody that's like-minded and has like a lot of that creative talent behind them, because she has things that I have no idea. Like, I've never acted, that's never been my repertoire, anything. And just bringing both of our talents together.
Yes, it comes together very well. Yeah.
Well, Echo, I was stalking a lot of your photographs. They're amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All of those.
Yeah.
For sure.
Rad. I call it rad art.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. The bunny.
Images, all of her image. I mean, that she has, and again, brilliant that you held on to that and that you own all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever you want with them.
Yeah, and then I'm sure you guys saw on the Bunny Chronicles, like, start creating digital art out of nowhere. I was like, let me mess around with my images I own.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I love that page. Yeah,
and awesome. And cathartic.
You're bringing the old with the modern. It's
right.
Yeah.
The mix is really neat. Yeah, so many of them. Yeah.
I haven't even told you this, Echo, but I can't wait. I want to there's one that I love. I'll show you that I would love to get blown up and put in my office or in my house somewhere that you did. She takes phenomenal photos. Like, I was sitting on the couch and we were exhausted. I'm not even kidding. I think she fixed me a cocktail. I would stay with her when I'm there. It's so fun. I get spoiled by her. And she's like, be still, hold on. And I had my glasses on. And I was like, what? I was just literally reading. And she goes, no, put your glasses down. Okay, now. And she's posing me. She takes this picture. And it's like one of my favorite images. And
it's so cool. It was
that's awesome.
In the moment. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
And actually what Corinna and I have realized too, just from all these outstanding like human beings that we've had on to interview, is that, so first of all, the level of expertise and like detail that like have had for everything that he did, whether it was the magazine or no, actually it was just the magazine, because that was his love. Like he did everything right down to the font, to the layout.
Oh wow.
Everything front cover to back cover. And so we're just learning all this as we're going along. And everybody we've talked to, we asked them 2 questions, and Corinna asked if you were able to say anything to Huff, whether before he died or in memoriam.
His memorial service.
Yep. And everybody just says, just thank you. Thank you. And it goes into the impact that what did Playboy or have on you personally and professionally. And we are all on the same page. Anybody from Playboy can attest to this and agree to this, that working at that level and at that caliber of just like perfection in terms of what was created and what was put out there, it's really hard to go from that moving forward, whether you're, writing or doing photography or like whatever, because people don't get that like the detail oriented, the specific thing
he held everyone
we are all looking for, whether it's editors or photographers. And so like the photographers, for instance, are like, yeah, I just can't even shoot anymore because nobody gets like my concept and what I want.
Arnie won't even shoot. And Arnie,
yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
But it comes back to the whole conversation is that we all realize like everything that we're doing in our life is a complete byproduct of being involved with Playboy. You know, it's like, yeah, I love
His
photography.
standards. Yeah.
It's all from being in that world, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So oriented. He had a photographic memory, and he paid attention to detail, even with every human being. Like, I mean, there were things that he knew about me that shocked me because he took the time and he cared. And that's what makes anything beautiful and breathe well. A character, we were talking about, you were asking me about movies and acting. It's the same, you know, crafting a character. Well, his magazine was the greatest character of all time. Like, he crafted it. He took every, like Echo said, we're learning that even things that we didn't even realize existed, that and he was the first one that really did interactive media, where he engaged the audience, people, you know, even searching for that bunny, but he found the best of the best. And he wouldn't take, you know, say, oh, you know, he had a team of phenomenal people. And, you know, from Art Hall, who hired the best of the day, you know, through the 50s, 60s, 70s and on. He got the best writers, the best photographers, the best, but it was how they worked with him and could handle him too.
Absolutely.
Not easy to work for because he demanded perfection.
Perfection.
And everyone is telling Echo and I that. Yeah, who was it, Echo, that said he said, I expect you to to never do anything, you know, better, or what was it?
Better than your best. It's like, I don't remember the quote exactly, but right down to, like, the photographers were telling us that there was never a maybe picture would work. It was always the picture.
Absolute. Everything was absolute. Or if it was mediocre, if one thing was off, none. He would redo a set, and in extravagance, where even the set designer, he would have hundreds of thousands of dollars to work with to build these sets. It was
days, you guys, as you know.
Yeah. So I don't want you guys to answer the questions here because it's your podcast, but I'm curious if you're both going to be the questions that you're asking your guests, the two questions that you're asking your guests. I'm curious if you're both be giving your answers to those questions about Hef.
Yeah. I mean, so like I said, the last interview that we did with Jim Peterson, who was with the magazine from 1977 to 2003, he oversaw the Playboy Forum, and what was the other one?
He wrote the book, The Sexual Revolution.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Playboy's, you know, Playboy's responsibility for the sexual revolution. And he asked us, you know, when we asked him that question, he goes, "Has anybody asked you?" And we both looked at each other and we said, "No." At the end of the day, you know, when we did say what the impact on us was, it's all so relevant with everybody we're talking to.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's obviously it's an
people
honor.
Get emotional on the show, don't they, Echo? We've had people get very teary-eyed. And yes, it's very, the sad thing for us too is I feel like they didn't get to have their goodbyes. So it's like, that's another thing that this has become. And, you know, it's not like all depressing and sad. It's awesome, but it's become very emotional because it's like a goodbye to Hef.
It's cathartic for you. I mean,
and then looking back at how incredible some people, you know, you take things for granted and you look back and go, wow, I was a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty incredible. Something that changed the course of American history in many cases without people even realizing it.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the biggest thing that's coming out for Corinna and I. I mean, I know certainly for myself, you know, I mean, we both are learning things that we had no idea about. And we also talked about, you know, being 18 years old and going in and doing that. You're very,
have no
very
clue.
young, and I would not
right.
at that age. And it wasn't till I think maybe my late 20s that I really was able to wrap my head around like, oh wow, I'm really a part of history and this is amazing. But now doing this, it's even that much more. It's just like we are a part of this, and this
sometimes
is
Echo and I just stare at each other. We're just staring at each other. Whoa, we just heard that. This person just told us that.
Yeah.
Wow. They just trusted us with that.
and that's why you got to keep going. You've got to keep going. How many stories can you uncover? This is amazing. Yeah.
You gotta, like if you think about every decade, whether it's the 50s, the 60s,
yes.
the 70s, something was going on in our society at that point that was written about 1000% in the magazine. It's like Hef had his finger on the pulse of everything.
And it was objective. It was objective. We were talking about how now everything's a narrative. Everything's pushed by emotion and not thinking. There's no thought anymore. Now it's persuasive writing. And it comes from a society that I would love to hear Hef's take on all of these things that are going on, because I don't think it would be what people think. I think that he would have a very clear opinion on freedom and what it really is, and how we think that there's a collapse, and it's like our First Amendment rights, for one thing, are it's like everybody is offended by everything, and
cancel culture. # you're canceled.
Canceled. You just hurt my feelings.
Yep.
It's crazy. Use my language. It's like, what? Oh my gosh. And they don't listen if they feel like, they have all of this wealth of what they think is knowledge, and it's the opposite of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And no thought whatsoever. It's so self-centered, and me too, me. I don't know, the whole thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm so glad that things are, things that are wrong, people should be held accountable for. I'm glad that there's light set on so many things. But I guess what I'm getting at is, if you read the articles, he didn't say, I'm not going to have this right-wing nut job on my magazine. I'm not going to have this left-wing blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that at all. It was, this is a prolific figure. I want to hear their perspective. I'm not going to push the narrative. I want to know what they have to say, what their views are. Not, we're going to try to bait you into what we want you to say so that we can push our narrative. And that's why I hate that any of that's lost. I'm like, I love
that style of journalism just does not exist.
No,
no, you're right. And that goes back to why he had the best people interviewing, to your point, both sides. And he had, he always, and you always heard the goofy story, why read it for the articles, but
people did.
But people did. Yeah. I
learn a lot.
You do.
And truth, believe it or not, like truth. And you're like, whoa, whether you like it or not, that's what it was. And we were talking about, you'll just have to listen, but
absolutely.
It's so funny because I can't think of his name right now because my brain, because of this.
That's not full anymore. What's
funny is he was even saying that Hef let him experiment, and he worked for National Geographic, and he loved working for National Geographic until he came over to Playboy. And he said that it was more fulfilling, and he actually got to have this freedom. And he was on these assignments, and they were more sexual. It was the sexual side, but they would get letters from husbands. Hef enhanced marriages, because back when people didn't talk about sex, they would say, how do I please my wife, or this or that. So he was this young guy, and he's like, okay, well, I better go figure this out. I'm going to go read about this. And he would go, interview. And during that, and he also got all of these incredible things. We shouldn't give it all away.
Yeah, don't give too much away.
You don't have to. No. Very intriguing though.
And during the AIDS epidemic, and get just all kinds of fascinating things that no one would cover. They were either afraid to cover, or, anyway, it's so cool. I'm glad to be a part of this. And
it is
so
what
thank
it
you,
is.
Echo. Thank you.
You're welcome. And
I'm happy. I'm so happy that you two got together and did this. I'm so excited for it.
Thank you. Because we really understand now, like, wow, we are really on something that needs to be told and that needs to or wants to be heard. And I mean, I tell you what, every time we're in that studio, I'm like, Hef is here with us. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so, but enough about us. Let's talk about you.
No. We got nothing.
No. We're not here for us. Nobody wants to hear about us.
No, the stories I want to hear, but
yeah.
Is there any like you said, I mean, you gals were both started young and it just took off from there. What a whirlwind. The start of both your careers. I can only imagine all the attention you got right away and how quickly it went.
Yeah. Came and went. No, it's
no.
pretty incredible. It really has. I mean, I think Echo can speak to this too. We're blessed. I mean, it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's true though, Corinna. We talked about that. It's like,
what's that?
So we talked about that. It's like, like you're hot for that, year.
The hard part. Let's talk about the hard. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about the hard part. There you go.
Let's talk about the deep hard part of this. We got to look. I mean, I look back. I remember seeing myself for the first time. I never thought I was pretty. I never thought I was beautiful. I never thought, I was looking in the mirror, whatever. And when I saw my images in Playboy, I thought, wow, that's me. That's me. But then also on the flip side of that, when you're around the most beautiful women in the world, when you are everything else, sadly, you're, still to this day, I'll see models and everybody's like raving over them. And I'm like,
and you're like, I don't see it. I don't get it.
That's horrible to say, but I'm like, man, wow. Because beautiful, when I say beautiful women, natural, no cut, none of this weird shit. Like,
sure, I'm with you.
Natural and different, all different, but Hef had an eye and the face that went with the body, because you could have a beautiful body and when you're nude, your face doesn't go with your body. It's weird. It's like he saw.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. There were so many gorgeous women that would test. Their face would be beautiful. Their body would be beautiful. But nude, the face did not go with the body. It's really weird concept.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Never thought of that. Yeah.
That concept and just there was a softness, a girl next door, really. And the women in the 70s, 80s, 90s, it really was unique beauty too, and all different shapes and sizes, but all just stellar women that so many of them still, I mean, I look at Echo, she just is still just as beautiful. It's like lasting women too, women that so many of them are even more gorgeous now and they're in their 50s and 60s. I'm like, how is that possible? It's like Hef saw that too, knew about skin and
he knew, okay,
age well. And I don't know if he was very aware of that, but however he did that, I'm telling you, it's different from any other models I've seen. It's just fascinating to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that, like, you want to hear about, what came along with it and what challenges, there were that we faced.
Right.
I would say, like, first of all, you're just completely blown away by the fact that, oh my God, I'm going to the Playboy Mansion and meeting Hugh Hefner and like, what is going on? And then you shoot your centerfold and your centerfold is gnarly. It is
we joke. Like, it's not even a joke. Like, it is every Playmate cries. Not one.
Echo, what was your thought the first time you saw your centerfold?
Me?
Yes. Like after. Oh.
Well, okay. So the first one in the October in the German Playboy, I loved it and I was blown away. And I love my centerfold too, but I laughed at it because I knew how much pain I was in that fucking pose. And so I could see in my eyes that I was like, fuck you. I just want to be done with this dick.
Every playmate,
and
every
that's
playmate.
part of like the beauty of mentioning a centerfold. It's like it's all pose. It's not like you're moving around. It's one single pose that have like I want the girl in this particular pose.
For days.
Oh. Wow.
Days. Like I'm not.
Wait, you're going in and out.
The camera was World War I. It's like it takes the big Polaroid pictures, and there's no other camera like it. He liked it. It just gave the best. They were called gatefolds, but you couldn't move even a smidgen. You could not move. So it took every girl. It was about 4 days of the exact same pose, being perfectly still, and every single one of us will tell you we cried. I remember starting to shake, and I cried. And what's funny is, like what Echo said, we look at our picture and I'm like, that is not a sexy look. That's a I'm dying look.
I'm serious and I'm done.
Yes. It's like, oh my
have
God,
you gotten it yet?
I'm going to look at these so differently now.
Right.
I know, right? Oh my God, so true. You're going to be like, ooh, there's like a little bit of pain right there.
Now I am.
It's not, it's a similar look. Let's be real. It's it's orgasm or death. It's that look.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think we have our line for this episode. Orgasm or death.
Orgasm, you nailed it.
Same look. Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't allow you to ask your question about Roger Daltrey.
I have to ask you about Vampirella.
Oh, are you a Vampirella fan?
I'm a Roger Daltrey fan.
Oh, then oh, wow. Yes.
I saw that you're in that movie, and I remember it from years and years ago when I was a child because Roger was in it. So I watched it at that time, and I just rewatched it just so I could watch your scenes. But yeah, so I'm the biggest Who fan ever. And so when I saw that you had so many scenes with Roger Daltrey, I just, what was it like working with him?
What an incredible human being. I will tell you, because this is fun, and I don't get this question much, but in your trailer, when you're waiting, and you're always waiting on set, our trailers were side by side, and he would play guitar for everybody. He was just awesome. And what a pro to work with. And he helped me through. I remember, because I was still a baby then, I think my daughter was 2, but I was, learning a lot about being on set. I hadn't done many things, and I had auditioned for that and was excited to get the role. But I think that was the highlight, was working with Roger Daltrey. He was awesome.
I like to hear that.
My papa was dying at the time, and I remember, I don't know how we started talking about that, but he was just so gracious and kind and legendary, obviously. I love him too.
But it's nice to hear, you get scared that I'm going to ask the question and it's like, oh no, he was,
he was an asshole.
But so this thing, right?
Real legends. I don't think real lasting legends are dicks. Just for the record, I don't. I think that's why they're legends.
Good point. Yeah.
They're really gracious human beings. I think some of the most iconic people wouldn't be that iconic. I mean, there are exceptions, and there are so many asshole celebrities.
Right.
Oh my gosh. But, he wasn't one. He was awesome.
Good. Great to hear. Great. Yeah, I enjoy that movie. As campy as it is, I enjoy that movie.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I never wanted anyone to know that I had done it, and I was talking things, and I should have just put my foot down, but I didn't. But I no regrets, right? We have no regrets.
No
regrets. But it's not one that I'm like, oh, watch that.
Right.
it was fun. Talisa Soto was great, and I think everybody in it did a good job for what it was.
Exactly. Perfect.
That's so funny that you.
Well, I was so excited. We were kind of looking up your movie, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I remember this! This is awesome that you're in it." So I was excited. I haven't seen it, so I haven't seen it.
I was an evil vampire from space, so Echo. I played.
Yes.
I didn't know this about you, sister.
Yes. Well, and I got to tell you, they cut your death scene too short because you got shot, and I was like waiting to see your death scene, and then they just cut you off.
Fell out of grace. It was like moving on. Next setup.
Next step.
That was my moment. I need a close up of
Exactly.
the whole thing. No, what's funny is that you notice that, and I remember thinking, I wonder why they're not doing a close up of my dying. But who cares about Sala? Sala's dead. She's out of the picture now.
Yeah, but as he got here, and I was like, he was Roger Daltrey's like main squeeze of the movie. Yeah. The bad girl Stella. Yep.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That was Roger Daltrey's.
I love it.
So Echo, is that what's the picture behind you? Did you take that?
Was that me?
Yes, hot.
That's also just one of many modeling.
One of her.
Oh, just one of.
Yeah, I have a Playboy cover up there. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to get it set up, but I was like, that looks good here. So yeah, I have, like Corinna was saying, I have archived everything or organized everything, and I have tons and tons and tons of memorabilia to the point where I'm going to have to hire an archivist to put everything together. And and I'm so glad that we shot in the era of film. To have actually
sure,
and negatives, it's a totally different deal. But yeah, I've got a lot of my content around. And
look, you guys are making. I'm going to show you mine. Hold on. Look, I'm taking you through my office. So this is that thing, Echo. I don't know if you guys can.
Oh shit! Now that's reminding me.
It's like a 3D
hologram.
A hologram.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That was an actually very interesting.
Look, I'm taking you around my office.
I love it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is funny. Oh, did I lose you?
No, we got you.
Oh.
Did you lose us?
I'm going to share with them the hologram story. So that was a really interesting project. They only chose, I think it was 6 Playmates, and it was this company out of San Francisco, a husband and wife team. And they had already done Major League, I think, baseball, or maybe just athletes across the board. I don't really recall. I kind of feel like it was a little bit of both. But anyway.
Yeah, he did athletes. He did celebrities.
Athletes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to a studio, and this was one at a time. And I had no idea Corinna had done it till 2 weeks ago when she told me. Yeah. And mine's like I got to get mine back. But it was so interesting because it's a hologram. So you get down again, kind of similar to like shooting your centerfold of like, what is your pose going to be? And you cannot move or divert from that because they literally have a special camera that shoots through this piece of glass. And then you watch them film, you put the glass in, whatever formula, and then it comes up, the image comes up. It's super cool.
Oh, wow.
What year was this?
And it's pitch black. It was like you were in the complete dark and it made that same noise. That's funny, Echo. You just reminded me. It made the same noise as like an old fashioned camera, like it was this really intense, like all around you, and you're in this box. It was like, whoa, I hope I'm not being radiated. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. I felt like that a few times. I'm like, I'm going to come out of this and I'm going to be like a mutant. Something weird is going to happen.
You'd be perfect for then Ben Prilla too.
Yeah, that's really me. This isn't me now. It's right in there in that hologram. My soul.
You look better now than ever. Show your face.
Look who's talking. Look who's talking.
Well, I think going back to what you were saying about Hef, because you're right.
I had to do my Playboy makeup.
I don't know what I had to rush because I was stuck in traffic. So sorry, I didn't make. You look gorgeous, by the way, Echo. Like you look really beautiful.
You both look beautiful
both
tonight.
do.
Still to this day, yes. You both
For a second there, I thought she was talking to us. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And then we knew better.
Beard in your dimples. It's amazing.
All right. Well, why don't we wrap this thing up? Why don't you guys promote your podcast one more time and tell everybody when it's coming and where we can find it and
everything you want to talk about.
Yeah, Bunny Chronicles.
I'm Echo Johnson.
You can go to alibytheshow.com too. I have it's not back up and running yet, but it will be soon. And I have a show. It's called alibytheshow.com.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
And Echo came through, and it's comedy, improv, scavenger hunt, pub crawl. It's really unique.
Old school Vegas. And
Oh, and that's like on Fremont Street in Vegas or something?
Fun.
Wow.
Come to Vegas a lot?
Well, I haven't been there now in a decade, but we have a friend of ours who sat down for one of our episodes. He's a stand-up comedian, and he does Brad Garrett's club quite often.
A couple times a year.
So one of these times when he's performing there, we want to get out there and check him out. So
Yay.
Yeah.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was there.
Yeah, when you guys come that way, absolutely hit up Corinna and go do that show. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced or could have imagined.
You
like
both cry laugh.
Really.
It makes
you're
me cry
crying
laugh.
laughing.
That's what I like.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's silly good times. It's just absurdity, but good absurdity. And then Bunny Chronicles. Bunny Chronicles launches in, and then, I mean, we may as well on your show tell us also, I have a YouTube channel called Aging Gracefully with Corinna and Mary Jane. And we're just starting that. We're going to be cross promoting with obviously the Bunny Chronicles, but it's just helping women and men, everybody. But Mary Jane is a fitness guru. She's amazing.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I saw some of that. Yep.
Aging gracefully with Corinna and Mary Jane. But
Remember,
you asked what to plug. I'm sorry.
No. Promote
Chronicles.
No, promote anything and everything.
Plug
Feel
it all.
free.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just realized that I built a website several months ago for the bunnychronicles.com, and my brain is just that fried from we're doing so much stuff. And I went on to GoDaddy, like, shit, I got to build a website. I was like, oh, I already built it. Hell yeah.
And it's beautiful. She's so brilliant with that stuff because I looked at it. I'm like, how did you forget that you built this? It's what?
Yeah, but if so anybody can go to the bunnychronicles.com and they can input their email address and stay tuned for updates. And we're gonna have a merch line and just lots of stuff. So
Awesome.
the bunnychronicles.com for sure. And then obviously the Bunny Chronicles, like IG, Instagram, the Echo Bunny Chronicles, Echo Bunny 93. We're getting a page together for Corinna for the Bunny Chronicles. That'll be separate from her personal one right now.
Okay.
So just stay tuned. Everything will be on bunnychronicles.com in terms of when everything is launching, and OnlyFans is going to be rad, and so we'll do a huge announcement about that, and there'll be lots of behind the scenes nonsense fun stuff as well.
I was afraid of what that was, and then Echo assured me it's not what I thought it was. And I guess it's growing, and there's comedians on it, and it's not some weird Pornhub anymore.
Right.
I don't mean to say
I didn't know that.
Right. It's well, I mean, it's everything.
Everything.
Whole platform is going like really. People are, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a place to put your content. I mean, it's similar to Patreon at this. It's a place to put your content that you're in control of it.
Way exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So
Echoes.
So we're stoked, and hey, OnlyFans, we might bring your servers down because it's gonna be that badass.
I like it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you Echo, do you have your photography on somewhere?
On Echo Bunny 93,
Yeah.
all of the pictures on there are photos that over a span of 6 years, I produced for my website, echojohnson.com back in the day. And I would post a gallery every week for 6 years. So I have 36,640 like images that I own that were all produced by me. You know, I've got the makeup artist, location, photographer, etc. So if you go on to Echo Bunny 93, you'll see all of my pictures that are not Playboy. It's just stuff that I created.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Very nice.
I
Right.
would love to see all. I mean, you have so many that I obviously haven't seen.
Me too. I didn't get through them all.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I'm trying.
I'm so glad we were able to come on the show, you guys. Thank you.
Oh no, thank
Oh.
you. I'm in awe. I'm still
Aw.
shocked and
Aw.
how we
Absolutely. Love your enthusiasm, both of you. It's amazing.
we're
Your stories.
couldn't be more
Yeah.
thankful. And we are both, I know, looking forward to it. And I gotta say, I think it's going to be huge. I mean, I think the people are going to love the podcast. Playboy is just such a legacy, and people are going to love to hear the stories. So
Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
It
for
is the ultimate American brand.
And the best
Anything
success
around,
to you
so.
guys. I can't wait to listen to things that I haven't listened to that, all of your
yeah, we're growing as we go.
Yes, that's all we can do.
That's how we do this.
Yes.
We're just doing things that we enjoy, and hopefully other people do
I
too.
want a tank top. I want a girl tank top with that on it. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right. We will
Done.
Merch.
we have a good merch guy. So
We do have mugs. If you ask, yes. So if you ladies would like a mug or a t-shirt, let us know. We will send it to you.
Yes. heck
Absolutely.
yeah.
And you know what, guys? We should, when we know that we are launching and everything's like ready to roll, Corinna and I should just hop on the show for, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, just do a little plug or something.
absolutely.
You wanna
Yeah.
do that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we would love it anytime for sure.
Oh, good. Yeah. Of course.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good night. Thank you,
Have
guys.
a great evening. Thank you so much.
Nice to
So
meet
much
you.
fun.
It was fun.
Enjoyed it.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously, though, get your asses out of here.